Hey guys, Pat here, alcoholic addict. Grateful recovering alcoholic and addict is what I am today. Today we're going to talk about the word from the daily reflection, which was pause. Now pausing when things are starting to go, when something happens, if you can stop and pause, you can solve so many issues. And this is for anybody, not just alcoholics and addicts, but I found for myself as an addict, it helps me greatly. There's been a few times that things irritate me, or things come up. Life happens, guys, right? We know that, and it's a really powerful tool. If we can pause before we act, I can't tell you how many relapses that might have saved me from. Just to stop and think, as they say, play the story through. Think about what you're about to do, and think about what's going to happen as a result. And if you can honestly do that, that goes a long way. Um, I talked about before. We'll go into a little bit. I was in active addiction for 40 years, and every loss, every trauma, every bad thing that can happen with that's happened. I grew up early, long before I was supposed to. I had responsibilities placed on me that I never should have. Seeing things that I no kid should have to. And the problem is that I never paused to stop and think. I was never really shown how to be an adult, and so throughout my teenage years, I got real rebellious and just started being real crazy. Doing some real dumb shit. I honestly can't tell you how many times I was arrested before I was 18, but it's definitely certainly double digits, probably probably closer to 30 than it is to 10. I'll tell you that. And most of that's because and I was the same thing over and over again. I mean, how do you do that over and over again? It's just anger, rage. Unhealed traumas, lack of proper teaching. But again, at any good point, had I been able to pause and just stop and think about where that was going to get me, it might have changed everything, right? Because then, when I graduated high school, I meant to go to college. Went to an automotive and diesel college, and was taken away from everything and was put in a position where, I didn't have any sport. I actually had a scholarship taken away from me because somebody didn't sign a piece of paper. We won't get into that. Something else I've forgiven and, this moved past. So I had to take out loans and I had to work full time. I do well in a structured environment, so I ended up graduating like second in my class. And a tough school. It was a real military-based program. And I was proud, right? I was real happy. I'm like, okay, here we go. I put everything from the past behind me, but I hadn't. I still had the past behind me. I still deal with, and I wasn't home. I wasn't home a month, and the same cop that arrested me every time in high school arrested me and got me for another OUI. We won't go there. Got me for an OUI. I was under 18, under 21, and I had 8 drinks, so technically that is an OUI. I'd love to sit there and argue and say, it wasn't right. I wasn't drunk, but bottom line is, it was an OUI, and I was charged with it, and that it was brutal because I just got a job in a dealership, and it came with the loss of license, so it was only a matter of time before the job was going to be taken away, and that's what happened, and just again, it snowballed like that. And the problem is, I never paused to catch up and make things right. Okay, so that carried with me. I'm 51 years old. That carried with me until the end of last year. I mean, really. I've had a good spell lately because I had been trying, and even though I was still walking in active addiction, I'd started to make a lot of changes in every other area of my life because I was just sick of the losses that I was taking one after the other after the other. I mean, things that would break most people, and I got 4 decades of them. But again, most of it's self-inflicted, guys. Not every trauma was self-inflicted, but the fact that I never paused to seek help, ask, to grow up out of them, and just take responsibility and make changes for them. I kept doing the same things and getting the same results, and to think anything else is literally the definition of insanity. So, this whole stop and pause, before you take your next hit, your next whatever, and get before you take your next high. Stop and think what's going to come of it. Right now, yeah, I mean, if you got a physical addiction like I did, I was hooked on heroin, fentanyl, and but you know what? I've been there with everything. I mean, it's been everything over the years. But again, that was the main thing. And then at the end, I was also smoking a ton of rock cocaine because I was miserable, and that was the only thing that would take me out of my head. And I knew I was hooked on the heroin, fentanyl. I knew how badly I wanted to be off of it. I knew how much it had cost me, and how much it was getting ready to cost me, because I was $6,000 behind in rent, and about to lose my home again. And I spent 3.5 years homeless, and I'm not willing to do that again. I can't go back to that. I mean, I can. Don't get me wrong. I'm literally one bad decision away from going there, but I'm more than happy to surrender before I let that happen again, because that was just too much. That was way too much. It was rough. That was brutal. Okay, so those of you out there, and I'm sorry, but please, take a second and pause, understand. And we had a snowstorm last night. All right. And instead of being, oh no, it's a snowstorm, where am I going to stay? What am I going to do? I actually was out in the middle, like doing a little plowing, and got to take take the day off from my regular job. And my first thought when I woke up this morning was, oh my God, fantastic! I can actually go to the noontime meeting that I really like, and that's what it is for me today, guys. That's like legit. I found a gratitude group, a meeting here in Somerville that I love, and I was thrilled to take an hour lunch break and go to that meeting today. And it actually worked out really well, because I got to talk to somebody who was struggling, and I told him about this channel I'm doing, and I think he's joined. And I think man, who knows? I mean, he's a great guy, but you know what? I enjoy meetings today. When I went to him before, it was literally because I was stipulated from a halfway house, or whatever. But no, everything I do today, I do for myself. Tomorrow I've got my men's group. Thursday I got my recovery group. I'm still waiting to be paired with a therapist, but I'm really looking forward to that, because as I'm doing the work, but guys, I'm doing therapy with myself. I'm doing everything with God, right? I mean, I tell you guys this all the time. This whole channel is dedicated to overcoming addictions with the power of faith. And let me tell you, it's powerful. It is the most, and that's why it's the first thing they say. Admit your powerless and then find your higher power, because it's everything, guys. If you can honestly find a relationship with God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call them, it's all the same thing. I prefer to call him God. And that works for me. And and I struggled with that for a long time. Don't get me wrong. I had real issues with that for a long time, because I felt so abandoned. I felt so different than everybody else. I felt like I had to, I had to play by a different set of rules. I wasn't given the same opportunities, and whatever. I mean, at any point in my life, I could have changed that by stopping and asking into my heart. Okay, I mean, it starts with prayer, guys. For me, it started with prayer. Actually, before that, it started with the decision that I didn't want to do any more harm to anybody else, harm to myself. And that came a little bit later, because I was still harming myself pretty bad. But when I got honest and I started and honestly, earnestly talking to God, the changes, man, the changes from within have been beyond my wildest dreams. I literally have the urge to use has been completely removed from my life. Okay. I mean, I'm going to continue with my Sublocade injections, because I know at any given day I could take my will back. And I say that because it's one thing I pray for. Every time I pray, I ask God to show me His will for me, and I turn my will over to Him. I give Him governance of my thoughts, my actions, my being, my life. You know what I mean? Because you know what? He wants so much more from me than I ever gave myself credit for. The limiting beliefs, the self-sabotage, all the traumas, all the stuff that comes with it, guys. And I'm just beginning to do the work, but you know what? The majority is being done for me through God, because I'm hooked in. I'm bought in 100%. I'm literally, this is my life. He's given me a life, and my life is already second to none. I wouldn't trade my life right now, including the 40 years of hell I went through, for anything, because this is fantastic. I mean, I'm filled with a joy, a hope, a peace, a sense of just good things coming, and I know they are. This is why I'm doing these videos. I want you guys to see, through the experiences that I have, that how powerful faith really is, how good life can get, and how quickly it can get that good. Just the relationships I'm getting back. Talking to my brother and sister every day. I got a couple other brothers I still got to reach out to, and I just putting a little more time under, because I've been in and out so many times, guys, that I don't want to start giving everybody false hope, especially when kids are involved in relationship with nieces and nephews, because that's not fair. You know what I mean? I want to show them legit. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And maybe be able to repair some of the damage I've done in their lives. Let's hope it's But if I stick with God, I can and I will. You know, that's the whole thing. Is there's literally nothing that can. If I stick to what I'm doing, nothing can stop me, and nothing stop you. If you surrender, find a conversation with God, and then stick with that, the more you pray, the better it gets. The more you speak to Him, the more He listens, guys. Honestly, and He wants so much better for you. I say it in every video. I'll say it again. God made no two people alike, and no two people have the same path. If you can, get in alignment with your true path by getting honest with God and asking Him the right things. There's books out there, guys. When you stop praying, period. Just stop praying the best of your ability, right? But be honest with what what you ask for, and don't make it a bunch of stupid, silly stuff. I mean, you need help in your roof over your head. That's not stupid stuff. That's important, guys. Okay, pray for that, man. You need that, all right? But start realistically understanding that it's not going to fall out of the sky. It's going to start by going to detox and further treatment and seeking counseling and whatever. Everybody's situation different. Whatever it is that you honestly and truly need, go after it. Ask for it. It'll get to you. It sucks out there, guys. I don't want to go back to that. I don't have to. I've been in whatever. We won't get into stuff like that, personal stuff like that. But you know what? I'm getting myself out of a hole so much faster than I honestly could have ever dreamed possible. Because I'm showing up every day, and the right version of me is showing up every day. The highest version of me I've ever met is showing up every day, and that's opening doors. And people see it, man. It radiates off me like, just people I don't even know. Just when I hold the door up somebody, I just, whatever. When I try and help somebody in need, like, people can see that I'm sincere and I'm honest, and it's making a difference, guys. So, like, I'm getting opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise. I'm working on my, on my mouth, my smile, and this thing on my face is getting cut off in a couple of weeks. Like I'm putting the effort in, and the work is being done. So guys, give it a shot, please. You know what? It's so much better. I can't even tell you how much better. I can't believe I sat there and did what I did for as long as I did, without honestly surrendering. I wish I was a lot weaker. I would have surrendered a lot earlier. Okay, but you don't have to, man. Your bottom is when you stop digging. So stop digging. Ask for help. Come in out of the cold. All right, guys? If you're out there, you get this message, and you can't find anything else, leave me a message, comment, man. Let me know where you're at. I'll find somebody to come get you. I'll do anything I can to get you in this program, right? I don't want this to be solitary. I don't want this to be me, man. I want this to, I want to kick addiction's ass. I want to put a dent in addiction. I want to end addiction. The climate's changing, guys. All this me, and horrible, put people down and not help is ending. There's going to be more and more help available. We're making it that way, okay? So come in, guys. Reach out, but first of all, find your relationship with God. It's everything. It is literally everything. It's the one thing I wouldn't give up for, $2 million. No way in hell. $2 million and I can never pray again. Keep it. I'll make it myself. Thank you. God will get me there, okay? So, guys, thank you. God bless. God loves you. Nobody else told you they love you today. I love you. Please want better. Want better, do better, get better. Okay, guys? Thank you. Be safe.